Now, ESPN people, that's all they do all day, right? So the average person may not know or may not realize that at what price do you become a seller, that price has already happened, right? And like, because look, everybody's got their number. Yes? Yeah, everybody's got their number, all right? And so it's a great question to ask, okay? Email your entire database. Like, well, you know, half my database isn't in California or even in the Bay Area. Who cares? I've been selling real estate since 2004. I still get people that say, are you still in real estate? Yes. We have to remind people. And just because they don't live in the area doesn't mean that they don't know somebody who lives in the area and could tell them about this great open house that you're going to be doing, or just is going to send friends to support you. Please support me. Please come see me. Please bring a friend. You know, whatever. The best part about emailing your database is I can guarantee you on Monday, if you do an open house over the weekend, on Monday, somebody will call you or email you and say, how'd the open house go? You're like, it was amazing. Let me tell you how amazing my open house was, right? But that's the coolest part about emailing your entire database and inviting them to the open house, is that you will get the follow-up calls about what you're doing, and show what a great job you're doing and what you're doing and how you're doing it. And then it sets up those calls. Print out your flyers in color if you're going to have them printed out. I said, or have them print out in color and put them in, go to the dollar store and get those frames and put them up around the house so that people can see the information but not take it. Because where do the flyers end up? Garbage. So the backseat of someone's car, right? Junior's, you know, doodle board. So we just want to make sure that we're being responsible about that, about what we want to print out, what we don't. And then set goals, you guys. I think a lot of times people do open houses and they're like, how do you define a good open house? Okay. What time is it, Dominic? All right, I got 1 second. My first open house I ever did, I wasn't quite licensed yet. The owner of the real estate company said, oh, just go, it's this house in Concord. Here's the flyers, here's the keys to the house. It's vacant, just do the open house. It's an older house in Concord. I was really proud of myself. I remember to bring the cookie dough. So I was going to make cookies because I wanted to make it smell nice, like chocolate chip cookies. I forgot oven mitts. That was a problem. I folded over a couple of the flyers and used that as oven mitts, right? I was like, that's okay. We still had cookies and it still smelled nice. All right, cool. And then, you know, the open house is about to end. I had no idea what I was doing. And all of a sudden this older couple is in the back and I hear this boom, boom. The next thing I hear is the husband saying, ma'am, you need to call 911. The wife had fallen and hit her head and had passed out. So my very first open house, I got to call 911 and have the ambulances come. The listing agent was the owner of the real estate office where I worked. That was a fun conversation. And everything was fine. You know, she turned out fine. But my definition of a successful open house changed. If no one has to call 911, it's a success, right? This is how we know we've got a success. So guys, you laughed a little. Thank you. I appreciate that. So yes. So define what a successful open house is for you. Not calling 911 was the number one thing on mine, right? If no emergency personnel was notified, it was a successful open house. But set how many appointments you want to schedule, right? All right, especially if you've got your PRMG loan officer with you. Right? How many appointments are we going to set? How many names do we want to capture? Right? What kind of conversations are we going to be having? Set those goals for yourself because then you're more likely to hit them. And share them with your PRMG loan officer that comes to do the open house. How are we going to do this? What's going to be successful? How do we know that we've had a successful open house? Because just if you had a lot of people come to the open house, but you didn't schedule any appointments or you didn't capture a lot of leads, is it really a successful open house? You have to decide that. And I've heard get one for every hour you're doing an open house. You know, capture however, you know, and then pick numbers for how many new people you want to meet. Remember, our job is to make friends and then help our friends make good decisions. So how many new friends are you going to make? All right. Have your buyer and seller package. Assume that you're going to get an appointment with everybody. When somebody says, how's the market? Do you remember, remember my response for that? How's the market? It depends. Good girl. It depends. Because doesn't it? Of course it does. That's why we need to schedule an appointment and sit down and talk about it. It depends. Are you buying or selling? It depends where. It depends when. It depends on how much you put down. It depends. It depends. It depends. Right? Of course it depends. It's the same thing with mortgages. We go, oh, what are rates? It depends. Should we talk about your alimony payments now, or should we, wait till later, right? Like, probably the open house is not the spot to be having detailed personal information conversations. So why don't we schedule an appointment and talk about this, okay? So it depends is a great way to get the appointment, right? So, and as you're talking to people, scheduling those appointments is what we're looking to do. This is lead capture, and this is also appointment setting time, all right? And get a pop-up tent if you have the space. Wow, I'm gonna be louder than a truck. All right, actually we'll skip this one. Game day, guys. List reports, HomeBot, these are great tools to help capture people's contact information. And I'm sure our panelists are gonna share some of their successes on what they've done for capturing business. But make it fun, right? This is a party, you have music, you've got the food out, you have the people coming in, and make it fun. We're having fun. Remember, happy realtors sell more stuff. And you want to talk to people about your favorite thing. So if your favorite thing about the house is the master bathroom, is the tiles in the entryway, if it's the view, if it's the backyard, whatever it is, tell people, hey, I want to make sure you see the detail of the tile in the shower, the master bathroom. The tiles came from Mexico or wherever, and they're super cool. Oh my goodness, you have to see this view. You have to see whatever it is that you're most excited about, share your enthusiasm. Enthusiasm is contagious, right? And make it fun. But also let them know, again, if you've got flyer information around, and have them come back. I'll be in the kitchen if you have any questions. So if they want the flyers, if they want more information, they're gonna need to either scan a QR code, do a text message, or come talk to you in the kitchen. All right, the idea is that you want them coming to you. All right, if you can't see the bottom, so did we just become best friends? Guys, remember our job is to make friends. And guess what? We don't have to be friends with everyone. Okay, so you can meet people and say, wow, we really connect. Thinking about your ideal client, who you want to meet, what friends are you gonna make at the open house, and be really clear about what that looks like. Okay. This is an actual open house. I walked into an open house. This is in Lafayette. I walked in. This is the agent sitting on the couch. I teach an open house class. What was that, Brian? Yeah, just how relaxed at home she was. When I walked in, I walked in with a friend, and she was on the phone, and she said, yeah, I guess I got to go now. My friend literally pushed me out of the way because he thought I might injure the woman. And I did think about it. And I was just like, oh my gosh. And she never moved from that spot the entire time, and gave me very little information about the property. I mean, not that I wanted, chapter and verse. She didn't know that I was a real estate agent. I took this picture from the kitchen because I'm like, I'm using this in my open house class. And does she look like she's having fun? Happy realtors sell more houses, right? So I am sure she's a brilliant realtor. Maybe she is fantastic at other forms of lead generation. She might be a brilliant person when it comes to contracts, but open houses are not her thing. And this is more of a show you what not to do. And also just a real life example. We've all walked into open houses where people don't know that we're an agent and going, seriously, really? This is how you do open houses. This is how you set your tone for professionalism in what we do. And I'm sure she's brilliant and a wonderfully smart real estate agent. She just doesn't like open houses. So you have to be friendly if you want to make friends. I'm really sorry about that. Brian, I know it's going to be a tough one for you. We're going to have to stretch. We're going to have to stretch goal here. We got to be friendly, right? So, just think about, we're going to make friends. At an open house, there's no stranger. So just friends you haven't met yet. And so figuring out if these are the kinds of friends that you want to spend your time with on a regular basis is how you'll associate who you want to schedule your time. All right, chapter 1 of my book is Closed Mouths Don't Get Fed. You have to ask for the appointment. Nobody's a mind reader. They don't know what the steps are. The average person buys or sells real estate every 7 to 10 years. You have to tell them the process. Hey, great that you're interested. I know this is your first open house. It usually can take 6 to 12 months for somebody to get into a home from the moment they've decided they're ready to move to when they get the keys to the next home. The next step would be for us to sit down, have an appointment. I will bring in a loan officer. We'll have a conversation about how the process goes and see how your timeline aligns. We want to follow your timeline. We're not here to push any sort of agenda. We're here to follow what your timeline is and what your goals are. So why don't we schedule an appointment for tomorrow afternoon? They don't know that that's the next step. We have to tell them. And at the next meeting, we'll go over the timeline so you're really clear on what steps needs to be followed to help you get into a home at the timeline that makes sense for you. And that's where you're going to go over the process of buying or selling, whatever it is, and get their commitment. But they need to know what the first step is to meet with you and have your PRMG loan officer there with you. Okay, you guys follow me on this, right? They don't know. We have to ask them. We have to ask. We have to ask. We have to ask. We have to ask. Think like a 5-year-old asking for a snack, right? Just keep asking. Just ask different ways. People like to do shopping. People like to watch Property Brothers and all these other things. Let them. Capture their information. The only difference between a cold lead and a hot lead is time. The only difference between a cold lead and a hot lead is time. You are interviewing for a job. The job just might not be available today or tomorrow, but people that are coming in and shopping because they want to see, oh, my neighbors just remodeled their kitchen. I kind of want to see what they did. And that's the purpose of knocking on doors ahead of time. It's like, oh, don't you want to see what your neighbors did to the house? Or, hey, do you know this house is trapped in a time machine? We really should put this in the Smithsonian, right? Like this is like 1957. It has been trapped. You guys, we've all seen those listings and they're kind of fun. And have the neighbors come. But those people are shoppers. They're not buyers. There's a difference, okay? And shoppers are great because they're just helping you to interview for a job. Keep calm and ask for the business. And this is fun. Dominic, how are we doing on time? Am I over already? Oh, okay, you're okay. You ripped me out. Okay, thank you, Dominic. All right, you guys, this is our job. We're here to have fun, make new friends, help our friends make good decisions, and make it a party. And most people have fun at a party. So, and we just saw a house party at the halftime show for the Super Bowl. So that was so think house party, right? And have it be fun. All right. Any questions before we bring up our panelists? I went really fast, and you guys are like, "What just happened?" It's like blown back. All right, we're ready for our panelists. Ready? Yes. For as many as you can. I say at least 10. At least 10. Yes, Michelle. Yes. Yep. Just have a lot of people in there. Oh yeah, sorry, the drawing. Thank you. I forgot to mention that. So I said get a gift certificate from the local restaurant, right? Here's the deal. Never make it a random drawing. Okay? That's not lying. I said we're having a drawing. I didn't say it was a random drawing. I said I'm having a drawing. Make it worth the money you spend on it. Now, the best ones are the people that didn't win. The nosy neighbor who took 20 minutes and couldn't leave. Magically, she's not going to win, but you know what? I'd love to take you out to lunch there because she knows everybody in the neighborhood and knows everything that's happening, and she's going to be your new best friend because she's going to give you all the referrals. So find some people that aren't going to win, but you're going to take them to lunch at that restaurant. So sorry, but I so enjoyed chatting with you. So sorry you didn't win, but we'd love to take you out for lunch. Okay, follow me on that one. Do not make it a random drawing. Okay, panelists. So we have a couple mics. We have this mic, and then Brian, you have another mic. Okay, there you go. Okay.
Press a button.
No, just hold on to it. So, what you guys have a seat?
Okay.
All right, let me,
One more, Michael. All right. Okay, I'm gonna take some notes.
That one was like the reject one.
All right, okay, you guys want to introduce yourselves and then pass this around for all the people that are streaming.
My name is Melody Cleoney, and I have been an agent in California for 9 years. So was number 16 on Team Fast, and I'm excited to see it grow like a wildfire.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jen Oak with EXP Realty, and I've been an agent for going into my 4th year right now. Yes.
Just hold on to it.
Yeah.
Oh, I can do that.
Hold it.
Yeah. Just project our voice.
Hi guys, my name is Michael. I'm
What's your last name?
18 Fast.
What's your last
Michael
name?
Sage. I've been a realtor for about 3 years now, so it's going on my 3rd year. Great to see you. Got it. Oh, should I go again?
Okay, so the first question we have is how
Icebreaker.
do you prepare for an open house? What do you do to prepare for open houses?
First, Michael.
Whoever
Yeah,
jumps in.
sure. I
So the
prepare.
mic is for the people there. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So he said to hold it like right here.
Just hold it, just hold it.
All right, cool. So yeah, I prep by say putting out signs,
How many?
making flyers, 5 at least. Flyers, so nice presentable flyers for the open house. Depending on how many you're gonna do, just print for the first weekend, and if you need to print more after.
So for the people that don't know, how are you printing the flyers, where are you getting templates, and what goes into the creation of it?
So yeah, EXP provides templates as well. Team Fast provides templates, so we use those. We use Canva to design. So yeah, through Canva, we print those out either here at the office or my mom has a printing company in Castro Valley, free for everybody to use. So feel free to check that out as well. But yeah.
That's cool. I didn't know that.
So obviously always come prepared. At the end of the day, we're trying to sell this house, right? So we have to be the market experts. So other than, yes, signs and flyers. So for open house signs, I try to put it at every intersection, every corner in front of the house, because what if some little kid comes and knock over the sign? Now you're out one open house sign. I try to connect with the lender. So for every home, it's going to be a different clientele. So I try to see if there's any like programs for the home, like down payment assistant. Like for Oakland, we have the Eagle program with First Republic. I'm not trying to promote any lenders, just saying. So yeah, and then I'll do research on all of the like I'll do my own CMA. I'll call active listings, pending listings, and just talk to different agents. So super prepared, other than what Michael said.
This for a mega open house?
No, what you
Just
do
a
for open
regular-
houses.
okay.
What you do for open houses.
So my open house preps start prior to even scheduling the open house, because I'm sitting down at the table when I'm getting the listing with the seller, and I'm already letting them know what I do in order to market the home to get it sold for them, right? Because one thing that we know is that open houses don't sell homes, right? Most agents will go on the MLS, they'll schedule a private showing, and they don't need to come to the open house. The open house is for who? It's for the agent to get buyer leads. And if you market it correctly, and if you do it right, then you should get at least 4 to 5 solid leads, whether it's a listing lead of someone that wants to sell in the neighborhood, or if it's a buyer lead, that's a walk-in lead that you can follow up with after, because we want to leverage the listing to create more business for ourselves. There's no point in standing there on Saturdays and Sundays from 1 to 4 p.m. if you're not going to leverage that, right? So I'm already telling the seller what I'm going to do, because it's really all fluff, right? What does an agent do to get a home sold? You clean it, you hire a photographer to get some photos done. That's it. You put it on the MLS. It's all fluff. What are you going to do to set yourself apart from the competition to make sure that you're going to get the house sold, and you have to be creative with it, and you have to let them know what you're going to do. So I always do a mega open house. I've had a Kinder's truck come previously to do a neighborhood barbecue. I'm doing a twilight tour during the barbecue for all the neighbors in the area, right? I'm door knocking 20 homes across, 20 homes in to the left and to the right. So at least, 20 homes in every direction if you can. What are you doing? Handing them a flyer, introducing yourself. Hi, my name's Melody Cleoney. I'm sure you saw the house that just went on the market, 123 Main Street. Would love to have you come by, grab some barbecue, come check out the house and help me pick your neighbor, right? So you're touching them one time. Once they come to the twilight tour, then, they take a look at the house, they get to know you, they see your face. Then you're having the open house, right? So you come back around again. You're inviting them to the open house. And so you're touching them the second time and you're saying, hey, this house is going on the market on Sunday. Just wanted to let you guys know about it, just in case you have any buyers that, are thinking of moving into the neighborhood, because who's better than to advertise the neighborhood that you live in more than you, right? Because you live here and you know the things to speak to. So I'd love to have you come out or send your buyers. Then the third time is when the listing sells, right? So you want to tell them, hey, we just got the house sold. It sold for, $50,000 above the listed price or whatever it sold for. And we got 18 offers on it. Let's just say the house is in Oakland, okay? And so you're touching them for the third time. And so what is this seller thinking when they have a home that they want to sell? They're thinking, oh, we want to go with that aggressive agent. She came to us 3 times. She gave us 3 different pieces of information. She was aggressive. She invited us to the open house. And when they want to sell, or when they know someone that wants to sell, hopefully they think of you because now you've burned their brain, right? You're like top of mind. So that's what I do.
That's a perfect time to ask the question that Katey brought up, and that is, is there a price point that you would be willing to sell?
Mhm.
And you're spot on.
Exactly. Yeah.
Listen to every word she said.
Exactly. Okay, so, and then my question for you guys, because this seems to be a common occurrence, when do you eat? Because I can't tell you the number of open houses I've been to, and the realtor's dying because they haven't eaten and it's 2:30, right? When do you eat?
Before and after.
All day. All day
After?
long.
Before and
Before
after.
and after, okay.
I gotta eat.
So yeah, just remember to eat, right? Or bring a power bar with you or something, because that happens all the time. Is that I see that. Any other prep things that you want to share with anybody that's like something that one of the other people inspired you to oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Other than leveraging around the open house, even if it's not yours and you're hosting it for a listing agent, you can leverage the crap out of that, because at the end of the day, when it does sell, first you're leveraging the first weekend of the open house, calling everybody that Monday morning. And then when it does sell, what you do is you literally call everybody around and say, hey, we just sold this house in your neighborhood for top dollar. And then you ask them the question, hey, did you have any thoughts of selling, or were you able to come check out the open house? Either you meet some sellers at the open as well, and you can leverage around the listing, but that's what I do. I like to circle prospect around and tell them, hey, this house just sold in your neighborhood for top dollar. And, this is what we do to get your house sold for top dollar. So, at the end of the day, I present my resources and tell them, hey, we're here for you. I'm here to help you guys out. No pressure. You guys see what we've done in your neighborhood. We're really good at what we do. Even if it's not mine or not my listing, I leverage it like it's what we do. I say we do, right? So that's just something that I like to do.
Michael, what's your strategy for simple prospecting? Are there certain homes you hit, every home? What's that look like?
It depends. So if it's around an open house that I've just done, I'll leverage that exact open house. If it's a certain area, like a certain city that my clients are looking for, I like to leverage the last pending in that city, or at least, if there's area specific in a city, I like to leverage the last pending in that area. So I try to stay very specific to my clients' needs, my buyers' needs, basically. So yes. That's actually really good. I've never done that. Never had any lenders that were available to say go out and door knocking, say in my schedule. But at the end of the day, I'm totally willing to have that happen. A lot of people say they're going to door knock, but they don't do it. So it's just something that, you know, you have to actually do, right? If you want to go door knocking and you know somebody that's motivated to do it, definitely partner up and team up on that and go get it done. Go do 100 doors and see what happens. So, yeah. Yeah. Hey, if anybody wants to door knock together, let's do it. Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
Super fun.
There's certain areas,
Mhm.
the last one I did was in Pacifica, so there were lots of hills.
That's good. That's good.
Dialogue question.
Yeah.
You guys were gonna knock on the neighbors' doors prior to an open house. Many people want to know, well, what the heck do I say to the neighbors? Because I don't want to fumble all of my words. So can we hear from each of you? Like, what do you actually say? Hold the open house next door. Like, what are the words that come out?
Yeah, I'd be like, knock, knock, knock.
Hey, hello, hi.
Oh, hey, my name is Michael, local realtor here at Hayward. Just coming around to the neighbors, actually. We actually just hosted an open house just down the street over at, 123 Main. And it seems like a lot of the neighbors are really enjoying it. We're hosting our second one this weekend, Saturday, Sunday, 1 to 3 p.m. Feel free to stop by. We'd love to see you guys there.
Oh, great.
Did you guys?
Is there a flyer?
Oh, yeah. Here's a flyer. And I wanted to also ask you, did you have any thoughts of selling yourself now or maybe in the near future?
No.
Okay.
We'll stop by. We
Yeah.
just want to see what's inside the house.
Feel free to come by. I'm looking forward to really seeing you guys there. So
Cool.
That's exactly what I would say. Thanks, Michael. Leverage.
No, let's hear it in your own context. I want to hear it. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. Just to let you know, I'm having an open house on 123 Main Street. I'm just welcoming the neighbors. I know you still live here, or if you're renting. I'm so nervous right now, guys. You guys know me. But anyway, so I would love to welcome you to my open house. I have food and drinks. Come by. Yeah.
Let's hear it.
Knock, knock.
Hello. Hi.
Hi,
I'm
this
not
is,
buying it. Sorry for girls out there.
no.
It's a girl set.
So I would say, hi, my name's Melody Cleoney with eXp Realty. I'm sure you just saw the sign go up next door at 123 Banana Street. Would love to have you as my guest. Come grab a bite to eat. Here's a flyer for you. We just went on the market at 600,000. It's a 3.2, and I would love to have you come by, give me your feedback on what you think, and to help me choose your neighbor.
Well, mine too.
Sure.
I'll take it. Knock, knock, knock.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Katie with eXp Realty.
Hi.
We have an open house coming up on Sunday from 1 to 3. You may have seen the sign. Just curious, do you rent or own here?
I don't know why that's wrong.
You own, awesome, awesome. We're getting a lot of feedback for people that are interested in this neighborhood. I don't know if you've ever had anybody that's been to your house that says how much they like your neighborhood. Love to have you bring them and to the open house. And here's a flyer, but would it be easier if I emailed you the flyer? That way you could send it out to any friends? Okay, great. We'll see you then. Thanks. Okay. All right. Anybody else? Anybody else want to share? Okay, do you want to share yours?
Sure.
Go.
Want this? Want this?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Elias from eXp Realty. Wanted to stop by. I want to let you know that you are going to see a couple more cars in the neighborhood tomorrow between 1 and 3. We're holding an open house. The Jones just listed their house. And I wanted to come by because we're inviting all the neighbors from 12 to 1 to come to an exclusive neighbors only open house and remove the rush. So if you know anybody that's looking at moving in this area, cruise through. We'd love to show you the house. I'm sure you're probably a little curious about what the inside of the house looks like. It's from 12 to 1 neighbors only. So just want to give you a courtesy so you know that why are all these other cars in your neighborhood.
I
So Tom,
appreciate
see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow. Good job, good job. That's the courtesy. That's Need to spell courtesy. There you go. Yeah, go please.
I would say before you have an open house, walk through, get there early, make sure all the lights are turned on, make sure the seller doesn't have anything awkward sitting out on the bed. Make sure it looks clean, it's organized. They don't have like a Windex bottle or cleaning supplies out on the kitchen counter. Put all the toilet seats down. And just make sure that open a window, make sure that it smells good. I always like to bring a little candle. I always bring a little speaker to have some music playing in the background so there's no awkward silence. And then I would stress making sure that you reach out to the city that you're holding an open house in and make sure that you ask them what their open house sign protocol is, because I've had my signs taken from street corners and intersections before by the city, and they take them, they confiscate them, and they will not give them back. And that's sometimes $100 to $200 per sign. So yeah, so it can be expensive. I know San Ramon's a stickler for that, for anyone that's had any listings in San Ramon. And then also make sure that you have enough signs. If you're going to do a mega open house, put at least 10 signs out there. If you don't have enough, ask someone to partner up or ask to borrow some signs, but blanket that neighborhood so people see you and they see that you're present in that neighborhood as well. I've had balloons as well. You can get them from the dollar store, super cheap. Just hang some balloons on there and make it a party. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And all the sign ordinances are on your specific association of realtors page. So if you go Bridge, MLS, Maine, CCAR, the sign ordinances.
Also to piggyback off of what they said about, leveraging listings. So if you're holding an open house for a listing agent, make sure you contact that listing agent and get as much information about the property as possible. I mean, we can all, look at the specs of the house, but for instance, if you have a condo, what are the facts about the condo? Are there any litigations or any special assessments, are any rental restrictions? I usually for condos would do like a FAQ sheet and just have it at the open house as well.
And just to piggyback off of that, I like to have like a actual written list of just all the major upgrades, all the newer upgrades, basically of the house, and have that in front of you while you're signing people in, whether you're doing it like on a piece of paper or through your phone. I personally sign people in on my phone. And yeah, there's different ways you could do it, but yeah, I like it that way. But it's cool. You could just read off all the major upgrades while they're signing in, and you're asking them how their day is and everything like that. So I think it's very valuable to them when they see that you know a lot about the property, even if you are just a host. That brings in the leveraging. So yeah.
Awesome. Okay, now we did all the prep work. All right, now we're there. And I said, you got there. We start on this end with you, Melody, about so you turn on the lights, make sure there's nothing weird out like the Smurf collection or whatever. And so why don't you talk about what you do when you open the front door?
So always get there early, obviously, because there's always going to be that one buyer that has 12 homes on their list that day, and they're going to be at the open house early. And I've had those buyers be the most serious. So you want to get there at least an hour early. Signs are out, balloons are out. You've already flyered the neighborhood. You've door knocked. You've invited all the neighbors, right? So assuming that you've done all of those things while you're at the open house, obviously, and Jen just brought up a good point, either you're going to have an iPad with you to have people sign in, right, for lead capture, or you're going to have a sign-in sheet. Okay. And if people ask you oh, why do I have to sign in? This is weird. You just say, well, the seller would like a record of everyone that just came through their home, right? No one's gonna have anything to follow up with that. They'll be like, okay, right? So they'll just do it because it's for security purposes, but it's also for you to be able to follow back up with them and to ask them for their feedback or what they thought, or if they're interested in any other homes in the neighborhood, right? While you're there, obviously, I've made the mistake of opening up the front door and leaving the key in the keyhole. not taking it back out. And one of my brokers actually called me out on it. She said, you got to keep the key in your pocket. You got to make sure that if you're in this home all by yourself for 2 or 3 hours, you want to make sure that you're keeping it secure. You know, the key is always with you because people are weird. And then just make sure that the vibe is high. You're engaging with everyone that comes in. I would not let anyone get past me without talking to them or having a conversation, introducing them to myself. And I always have, you know, marketing pieces on the counter, whether it's a postcard, a flyer, a business card. Obviously, you're going to have some food there. It doesn't have to be fancy. I would just say some cookies, maybe some muffins, maybe some coffee, and some water bottles. I've taken it a step further. It's a lot of work, but I've had labels made for the water bottles and I've had them wrapped around the water bottles, right? So I take the Arrowhead label off and I put my label on there. So when they leave, oh, they've got a flyer with my name on it. They've got the business card, they saw my sign, and they've got the water bottle too. So you want to be able to create a brand presence around all of those things. So when they leave, they remember you, right? Because you're probably not going to be the only open house that they go to that day, especially if they're serious. And then partnering up is always a good idea. Obviously, if it's a big house, if it's a multi-million-dollar house, you want to make sure that you're protecting the seller's asset, right? You want to be there in the home, maybe with a partner agent, someone that's able to help you out with the traffic, because we all know how open houses have been lately. There's people literally lined up to get inside. So if you think it's going to be that type of open house, then ask someone, share the leads. Like if you're the listing agent, just tell them, I'll take the listing leads. We can partner up on the buyer leads, or you can just have the buyer leads, however you want to structure it. But I think that it's always a good idea to have someone with you if they're able to. Yeah, or bring your lender, PRMG.
Yeah, so personally, I like to host open houses with a partner. So obviously I greet everyone that comes in, but I also let everyone kind of do their own thing. But when it's time for them to come back, I like to focus on one person. This way I can give them my undivided attention, because during the open house, my goal is to set one appointment. I mean, yeah, we can have 40 people that come in, but you can't give your undivided attention to 40 people. If you can lock in one buyer or seller lead at an open house, that's solid. 2, even better. But having a partner with you and being able to have them do the same thing as you're doing, you're able to, you know, get more leads, and then, yeah, partner up however you want to structure it. So that's just what I usually do in our open house.
Yeah, I think partnering up is great. I personally like to do them alone, just depending on the how I'm feeling really. I kind of like to take a lot of control. I'm very aggressive, so I'd like to be the main person there. Plus, just signing people in, I like to do it my way. But everybody has their own preference, right? So, but yeah, when partnering up with somebody, I'm really good because I am aggressive. So I capture everybody and make sure nobody slips through the cracks or anything. So yeah.
What's your sign in method?
So I hand them my phone. So I'm by the door and I hand them my phone. So I greet them right in. And I tell them, hey, just asking everybody to sign in today. I don't get any lip from that really. People just sign and it's cool. And then I just ask them, hey, how's your day going? It's a beautiful day outside. Maybe explain some main events that are happening. If there's a game, that weekend or something, hey, did you guys watch the game? Yeah, so things like that. And I just talk to them. And then I explain to them all the upgrades and things like that too, all the main points about the home. Then I just tell them, hey, feel free to check it out. Let me know if you have any questions. So.
Do you capture their information on the notepad, or do you have
So yeah, I have a KV Core open house app. So every time they sign in, it goes straight to my database. So I don't need to do any database entry or anything later. And it just makes it so much easier. Plus there's little options on there too. Like if you have an agent, this and that, and you can filter it out for each separate open house that you're doing and kind of make a nice sign in page. And they just sign in and it's pretty cool. Everybody knows how to use a phone. So they just click away. It's super fast for people versus having to write it down. Plus you don't understand their handwriting sometimes. And it's just it just gets messy. So I like to keep it digital. And if they don't want to sign, some people just put their first name, last name, and an email. They don't feel comfortable putting their phone number in. The system won't let that go through. So basically you could just go in and just put like a fake number or whatever just to make it go through, or really tell them, hey, for it to go through, I need your phone number. Won't bother you or anything like that. Won't bombard you. But if you do really like the house, I can send you the disclosures to your email later on today. So something like that, just to really offer them more value for actually capturing all their information. Tell them, hey, I'll send you guys the disclosures if you guys are further interested. And I'm going to be contacting everybody to give them an update Monday morning or something like that, right? So, yeah.
That's good.
Oh, another method to do sign in, if you don't want to bring an iPad or a piece of paper, you can create a QR code, get like one of those acrylic scans and have them scan it and link that to a Google Sheet. So you'll have all their information there too. Yeah, it's one less step for you to data entry.
Yeah, the KV Core open house app is cool too, because you can create a hashtag for every open house. So you could do like hashtag like 1417 High Street or whatever, right? And like every lead that goes into your database, you're gonna have that hashtag in their profile. So what you can do is just look up like, High Street open house, and everybody from that open house is going to pop up. So you can easily filter people. Makes things easier, because then a year, 2 years later, you go back into your database and you say, hey, who's Joe? And you see, hey, I met Joe at this open house. He came, and then you start to remember, and then you have your notes there and you can see, their timeline and things like that. So.
Any other comments about during capture? Okay, all right. Okay, so follow up, you kind of already started that, Michael, about
Yeah.
so you've got the KV Core app going where it's captured. When do you get back? You said Monday, is that your standard that you get back to everybody on a Monday, or what do you do?
So say I did say both days, Saturday, Sunday. I call everybody first thing Monday morning with an update, or if they're interested in the disclosure. So I asked them, hey, just giving you guys a quick call. If there wasn't a due date set or something, I'd tell them, hey, we just set a new due date for this day. Wanted to let everybody know. Are you guys possibly interested in writing an offer, or would you like to receive the disclosures? And then you kind of go from there. You gauge their motivation. But yeah, they'll tell you if they have an agent or not. You can also definitely ask that, right? If you have anybody, helping you out through the process. So yeah, that's what I do. Call everybody Monday morning, first thing. Ask them to if they're interested, basically writing, and then offer my services if they don't have an agent that they're working with.
So question, do you in KV Core, do you have an automatic follow-up email that comes from that, or is it just a phone call, or what do you do with those? You got them all in KV Core,
Yeah,
so what do you
so
do
through
next?
my KV Core, I have like tasks that I are connected to my Google Calendar. And so if I really need to say create a task, or say I talk to this person and they're looking to buy or they're looking to sell in 3 months or so, right? I'll set a task to say follow up with them in say a few weeks or say a month about their sale or things like that, right? Just to touch base. If they're a buyer, it's a little different. But yeah, if they're a seller, put it in your calendar or put it in the task, and you could put follow up on this certain time, it's a date and time, and then it goes right into my calendar. So that way I just check my calendar and I see who I need to follow up with that day. And yeah, it's a pretty cool system for me.
Now, all those people that you meet at an open house that are now in your KV Core, are they part of your drip campaign now?
So they could be. So I could put them right in a drip. Personally, a lot of people nowadays have agents that they're walking in. The people that don't, I'll definitely put them on a drip campaign. But yeah, a lot of people that do have agents, I don't bother them anymore. So yeah, I'll kind of just put a note in there, has agent. And that way I see not to bombard them with marketing stuff or anything like that. So, but yeah, the people that don't have agents, I gauge their motivation, and I can start sending them properties right then and there if they're really interested. Just depending on the flow of the person and their motivation, really.
Okay, cool.
So I personally like to do it if I can, obviously right after, because people are going through open houses, like hundreds of open houses probably. So I will, either email or call them and just ask like, hey, just let you know, disclosures are ready. Would you like, or
Same day?
same day. Yeah, if I can, if not, at least the next day, just so that I can be at top of mind after them going through tons of
Okay,
homes.
sure.
Mhm. And then I'll ask like if they have, if they're interested in disclosures, and if they say yes or no, or if I already have it available, I'll ask if they have an agent. And if they say yes, they have an agent, I'm like, great, have your agent reach out to me. If they say no, I will just, try to dig a little deeper. I'll say, okay, can you give me some feedback about the house, pros and cons, so I can report back to the seller if they say, and then whatever they give me, okay, if this is not the house for you, what type of house are you looking for? And then that's when I kind of just dig deeper to see and be able to provide value.
And do you put them into any sort of a drip program or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll put them into my CRM.
Your CRM,
Mhm.
okay.
And then after Sunday, if weather permits, I'll do another round of door knocking and just say, knock, knock, knock. Hey, we just had 20 people at our open houses this weekend, and then, yeah. So I'll door knock the neighborhood again and just let them know.
Yeah, I mean, I would piggyback on both what Michael said and what Jen said. They made some really awesome points. Obviously, you want to follow up as soon as possible, because why do the open house if you're not going to follow up with them, right? And then set them up on a drip campaign or put them in your CRM at the very least. If they are a buyer and they don't have any representation, I personally like to dig a little deeper. I ask a lot of questions. I try to find out what their motivating factor is on why they're moving, where they want to go, what they liked about the house that they saw, what they didn't like, if they would be open to potentially seeing some other options. I let them know that I work on a very large team. There's over 300 agents on the team, and we're scattered all across the Bay Area. So if this house doesn't work for you, we most likely have a coming soon or an off-market opportunity that does work for you. So would you be open to possibly setting a buyer's consultation with me for about 15 minutes on Zoom so that I could show you what that would look like for you and go over the next steps on what the home buying process is like? I can share my coming soons or off-market listings that my team has, and I would love to just see how I can be of service to you. So you want to earn their trust and you want to create a relationship with that person. Hopefully that'll lead to your next lead. But a lot of times, people do have representation, just like Michael said. So obviously you want to be respectful of that. I wouldn't put them on any type of a drip campaign or anything like that. For the sellers, I always like to obviously follow up, introduce myself, thank them for coming to the open house with maybe a nice handwritten note that you want to handwrite, right? And then deliver to their home. Thank them for coming to the open house. And then also, if they tell you anything about them and they give you some information, find that little weak spot or that weak point in the conversation where you're able to book an appointment with that seller. A lot of times, if someone's thinking of selling, they'll actually invite you to come into the house right then and there. Like, oh, I can't wait to show you my hardwood floors. Like, my husband installed them 10 years ago. They're bamboo. Like, would you like to see them? And I'm like, great. Yeah, like, absolutely. Obviously, could care less about her bamboo floors, but I do want an in. If they invite me in to go check out their house, if I have time or if I don't have to get to an appointment, I will go into the house and I will spend about 15 to 20 minutes with them and find out what's their motivation behind wanting to sell. Then what I'll do is I'll come back in a couple of days and I'll drop off a CMA package for them at their front door. Thank you so much for inviting me into your home. It's beautiful. I loved your sports collection or your bamboo hardwood floors. They're beautiful. You have a beautiful home and would love to earn your business and interview for the position of getting your home sold for the most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. So, always try to build that relationship, be that go-to person, and honestly, just treat them like a friend. The other day I was on a showing and I've been nurturing these flex leads for like 6 months. I've never met them before. Finally, they wanted to go see a home in Alameda. And by the time I got there, the wife was like, I already feel like I know you. You're like the family friend. And cannot tell you how happy that made me. Like literally it made my heart smile because that's the biggest compliment that you could ever get from someone, right? So treat them like a friend, treat them like a member of your family, just give them good information, let them know that you've got their back through the process, and hopefully they'll remember you when it comes to wanting to buy or sell a home.
Awesome. Any comments, questions so far? Just on these 3 steps, and then just we wrap up the last 15 minutes. Questions that I'm getting asked as a coach that I wanted to ask you guys as panelists. It's just like, well, open houses, in this market, you get, you open the front door and you might get 100 people that walk in. Why do I need to learn how to do a good open house? Anybody want to answer that question?
Do you want to make money? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's just another way of getting leads if you don't want to pay for, if you,
Yeah.
it's basically work every avenue to get leads, right? Open houses, door knocking, cold calling, whatever way you can get a lead, do it. And you're going to be there for 2 hours, make it worthwhile.
Especially if you're new and in
Yeah.
your first year. Yeah, you have nothing to lose.
Because with Zillow, you're going to pay sometimes 25 to 35% for one Zillow lead, right? If you stand in an open house for a couple of hours, well, guess what? That's free. That's all you, right? That's just sweat equity, and that's free. All it takes is time. Maybe some cookies from
Yeah.
Safeway, a pack of little mini Pellegrinos or some water. Pellegrinos are a little fancy, but it's just your time, and you get to build that relationship. So yeah, if you're going to stand there anyways, you might as well rock it and feel good about it, because I've had some open houses where maybe it was raining, maybe it was cold, maybe I didn't feel like getting out of bed that day. And I can feel when I'm not on my game, and it really sucks. It's like, wow, I did all of that for no reason, and I could have probably done a better job at that. And you kind of kick yourself when you didn't show up as your best. So make sure that you're making it worth your time. And if you're not yet very confident in doing it, shadow somebody that's hosting another open house, shadow a seasoned agent. We've got plenty of open houses on Slack. Just figure out who's got a house open that weekend. Go check it out. Go see what that agent is doing and take what you want from that, right? So it's a great way to shadow another agent.
Yeah, it'll get your communication skills up way more, and help you kind of talk to your clients better and take, spot on questions, like way better off the bat. So yeah.
It's also a great way to get your face out in the neighborhood you want to work in too. Even if let's say you're from a smaller team, reach out to all the listing agents, the top listing agents in the area, and say, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah with whatever real estate. I want to host your open house. So it's a way to, and also I lost my train of thought. But anyways, yeah, it's a great way for lead opportunities and to get your face out there. And like I said, we always try to make it an event. It's a way for you to stand out. Like Mel said, cookies and water. We spend $50 at the bar. Why not invest $50 at an open house to make $50,000, right?
Great.
Damn, you make
So,
that much
yeah,
money
well,
off
one of the things is that, because right now, open houses are easy. It is crazy, right? But your level of professionalism that you set for yourself and for your business is the consistency piece. I don't know what that is. Somebody signed out there. So do a great open house, because that's the kind of real estate agent you are. You do professional, systematic process for how you do open houses. This is what I do, regardless of the market. If it's a seller's market, buyer's market, average market, I do amazing open houses because it's just what I do, and that will set you apart. Versus, the picture I showed the lady just sitting there on the couch because I don't have to work that hard. The open houses, people just show up, right?
Yeah.
But be professional. To Melody's point, be on your game. Like, I'm interviewing for jobs here, right? And I am like finding that 1 or 2 really great leads at an open house. But set the standard for yourself. If this is how I do open houses, and then be amazing at it regardless of the market.
And then another thing, Katie, I just thought of this, but if you are going to, if you're going to build these relationships, just keep in mind that 5, 6, 7 years down the line, these buyers are going to be your sellers, right? So you're building your database as you're standing there collecting these leads, collecting all the capture and putting it in your CRM, you're going to be having these people in your database for years and years to come. So they're going to come back and it's going to build your business for you over time. And hopefully one day you're too busy selling, 50, 60 houses a year to where you don't even have time to stand at an open house, and you could get another newbie agent to do that for you, right? Because that's the goal. But for the time being, these open house leads are going to be your repeat business later on down the line. So obviously you want to show them what you're made of. You want to show them that you're not a passive agent, right? Because there's a lot of passive agents out there that are just putting it on the MLS, just taking some pictures, right? I've even seen some agents take listing photos on their phone, and it's like, what are you doing? Right? So make sure, other than just what the average real estate agent is already doing, which is getting the house clean, getting pictures done and sticking it on the MLS, you want to go that extra mile, and you want to make sure that you're creating a memorable experience for them so they remember you in 6 years, right? So.
Awesome. Okay. Questions? We're not, any of us, and just. What's a drip campaign? So a drip campaign is typically in a contact management system or CRM, customer relationship manager is the acronym for CRM. Is an email or having a system, usually it's a 52-week cycle of contacting somebody. So emailing, a standard one that I've used is emailing twice a month, making calls once a quarter, doing an event a couple times a year, and then, birthdays, things like that. So a drip system is like drip, 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 right, of water, right? That, so as they call it, a drip system is you're dripping on them. Like it's just like, hey, I'm still in business. My personal view on a CRM and a drip campaign is just have your subject line be amazing, because most of them are going to get deleted. But at least they see your name and your subject line. Who cares if they actually open it up and read it? It's basically saying, hi, I'm still in real estate. Me again, still in real estate, right? And so that when they're ready, they're going to call you then, and then they'll start opening your emails. And that's like, oh, those people. Okay, I'm going to talk to them. Unless it's your mom, then okay. But everybody else, right, would pay attention to that. So
Yeah, I do a weekly newsletter. So it's basically the same thing. I just email my whole database once a week. It's usually on a Wednesday, and I change it up every week. I summarize a nice article basically of the market right now in say February or March, and summarize that, and then I send that to them weekly. So just like she said, it's always in their inbox, even though if they don't open it, they see your name, they see that you're actively in real estate, and yeah, it's good.
good question. Cynthia.
If you each have yourselves the number one tip to me for me, number one open house tip, what do you tell yourself?
I would say use your CRM and don't keep switching around, because I switched around my CRM so many times. There's always something new and shiny out there, right? There's KV Core, there's Salesforce, there's exact systems, there's top producer, is it top producer? There's so many different CRMs out there, but guess what? The only CRM that is the best CRM is the CRM that you use. You just need one. All it does is store their information. Has a good CRM will allow you to make appointments on there, will allow you to put notes in there, will let you put in birthdays and anniversary dates and their kid's birthday and their cat's name. So you just want to be able to take really good notes and put it in your CRM and just keep adding them in there, and don't switch it around. You don't have to make it fancy. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just simplify it for yourself and add them all in there into one list. The number one mistake that I made that hopefully you guys can learn from is when I started out 9 years ago, every time I joined a brokerage, I would use that company's CRM, and I just kept switching, right? Because if you leave a brokerage, they shut your CRM down. So they take all that information, and then you no longer have access to your email or that CRM anymore. So use a CRM, preferably outside of your brokerage, that you could store all that information in there. Because I would have had thousands of leads by now if I didn't keep switching around. So just pick one, stick with it, put all the information in there, and just keep it simple. That's what I would say.
Yeah, for me, I wish I would have done more open houses in the beginning. Well, I think I'm still a new agent in my mind, but do more open houses and stick to my follow-up. You know, we're so used to working on our business. In our business, we don't work on our business, and all those, you know, hours we put in our open houses, those leads just go to waste if we don't follow up. Most of the people that come in are not buying right away, you know, so making sure to like stay on top of my CRM and then following up.
Yeah, I'd piggyback off of follow-up, and then I'd also say utilize more of like a buyer's call to some of these open house leads. You know, like you want to provide value as soon as possible to these buyers. And so for me, like if I would have done that more in the beginning, I probably would have been able to capture more and probably close more my first year. So, but yeah, utilizing that now has definitely expanded my business. And yeah, I wish I would have done it a little bit more in the beginning. Yeah, had better follow-up systems and things like that. So.
Want mine? Do a listing appointment every week. And they're gonna be practiced for a while. So call somebody who you admire and say, hey, I'm just updating, or I'm new to real estate and I want to practice my listing presentation. Can I come and pretend to list your home? I'll bring a cake, I'll bring a bottle of wine, whatever it is. Can I do a practice listing presentation? Because just like in sports, you have to practice before the game, because what you do in practice is what you do in the game. And if the first time you do a listing presentation is it's a live listing presentation, your energy, look at your eyes, just got really big. Do a listing appointment every week.
Or you can come to our Mondays and Wednesdays script training
There you go.
that we're having now from
Scripts.
7:30 to 8:15
Nice.
on Zoom. So it's on
Like it.
Slack.
Awesome, love it. Okay, any other questions? Comments? Well, look at us finishing right before 2 o'clock. Yes. And thank you to Michelle and Dominic and Kelly and all the PRNG squad. Okay.
I would like to invite everybody to Taco Tuesday, join us in Brentwood. Taco Tuesday from 3 to 5 on March 8th. Watch Slack, there will be the invitation will be popped in there. But we're going to be doing it as a networking event, because a lot of times you're out there, you're putting in offers to realtors, you don't know the other realtor. It's a good opportunity to be able to meet the other realtors within that community. So if you want to take a little drive, it's only about 45 minutes from here, not very far. Come on out to Brentwood, Taco Tuesday, let's have tacos on PRG.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you to our panelists. All right, thank you. Very good. All right. Well, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Team Fast, and thank you to our panelists. Good job, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you. Great job. Great job. Thanks for spending the last minute.